So Yahweh gave me a lot on this Torah portion, and I can't take a lot of time. So I made little handouts for people who are interested in following up later on this week to meditate on the Word. I want to start by reading Psalm 145:17, so that we remind ourselves, Yahweh is righteous in all his ways and holy in all his works. The Passion Translation reads, "You are right in everything you do, and your love is wrapped into all your works." So as we look at the works that Yahweh is doing and has done from the time of our ancestors, remember that it's his justice, his righteousness, his holiness, and his love that's evident in all of these works. Reading from Psalm 97, his throne of glory rests upon a foundation of righteousness and justice. A blazing glory fire flashes before him, burning up all his foes. When his lightning strikes, flashing in the skies, people are wide-eyed as they tremble and shake. Mountains melt away like wax in a fire when Yahweh of all the earth draws near. Heaven's messengers preach righteousness, and people see his glory in the sky. I looked at some of the examples of Yahweh's righteousness breaking out at key points in Israel's history. Nadab and Abihu, Leviticus 10. This was, Yahweh had established his authority in the priests, and these two offered strange fire. They did it not according to the way Yahweh had prescribed. Yahweh said at that time, among those who are near me, which we heard today in the Torah portion, I will be treated as holy, and before all the people I will be glorified. Remember, Moses and Aaron were also denied entrance into the Holy Land, the land of Canaan, because they did not treat Yahweh as holy. Next example would be Torah and the 25 leaders of Israel. Moses had been established as leader with Aaron as the priesthood, and these men rose up and said, that's unrighteous. We belong in these places of authority. But Yahweh wants us to understand that those who he puts in positions of authority, we are to honor and respect and obey. Next one I looked at was after the Battle of Jericho in Joshua 7, with great success. Next time the army went out, they fled before their enemies. And so Joshua was crying out, what happened, God? What are you not with us? And actually God said, well, you broke my covenant. And the whole nation suffered for the one man who took some of the things that were to have been devoted to the Lord. So these are things that, as you're looking at it next week, what are the messages from Yahweh? How does this apply to my life? And how do I walk this out? Next one was Uzzah, which Pastor Russ mentioned in the beginning, when they were moving the ark. Now that Jerusalem had been established as the city of Israel, and they had David as king, they were moving the ark. Instead of carrying it, according to the Torah, on the poles, the shoulders of the priests, they had it in an ox cart. And one of the priests reached out to steady it so it wouldn't fall, and he was instantly dead. How we are to honor the presence of the Lord. That lesson in that. Next one is after Yeshua has risen. He has the apostolic team in place. Ananias and Sapphira come with their offering. They sell the land. The various people are selling land so that no one is without their needs having been met. This couple comes. Man comes first. This is what we paid for it. And Peter says, what put it in your heart to lie to the Holy Spirit? Could you have not done this of your own free will? No one was forcing you to do it, and yet you lied. That was a word of knowledge. There was no way Peter could have known that. The man died on the spot. His wife comes in a couple of minutes later. Is this the amount of money you sold it for? Yes, it is. She dies on the spot. And it says, great fear came upon the whole church and upon all who heard. Yeshua is the same today, yesterday, and forever. The last words, actually, that we have from Yeshua are in Revelation 2 and 3, where he gives the messages to the churches. And it's very important to go through those and see what he says about what it takes to be an overcomer, because he will have a holy bride. Peter tells us the time has come for judgment to begin with the house of God. So we need to take these lessons to heart. We need to reread and reread Matthew 5 to 7, those chapters where Yeshua makes very clear what is sin in his eyes. And we know that sin separates us from God, and we need to be sober in our lives, that we don't allow anything to separate us from him. Brothers and sisters, we are called to be blameless and innocent, children of God without blemish, in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, among whom we shine as lights in the world, holding fast to the word of life, who is Yeshua. Philippians 2:15. As we said earlier in the service, he died and gave us all power, all authority, everything we need to walk in righteousness. Reading again from Psalm 97, it says, "Listen, you lovers of God, hate evil. For God can keep you from wrong and protect you from every evil power. For he sows seeds of light within his lovers, releasing a harvest in the souls of the righteous." May he have his way in us. Amen.